If you can't stop emotional trading, it's not because you're undisciplined, it's because your nervous system is secretly wired to sabotage you every time you have some kind of success. Every time you move forward one step, you fall back 3 or 4 steps. And this repeats every single week. This is your emotional trap, these negative patterns that's holding you back, and you need to deal with this if you want to level up in trading. The worst part about it is that you don't even realize that this is what is holding you back. You think that it's just some kind of magic holy grail strategy, something that you're missing in your trading. But in actual truth, it's none of that. It's all to do with your internal state. So in this video, we're going to look at why you keep repeating these emotional time bombs and you always sabotage yourself every week, and so that you can understand the root cause of it and then some ways of how to overcome it so that you can level up in your trading and finally see the results that you want within your trading. So watch this to the end and then you're going to get a clearer idea of how to move forward within your trading. You see, when you come to the charts and you start clicking buttons and you start taking trades, it's actually more or less to do with escaping discomfort. Okay, you have a different reason, underlying reason as to why you're trading. You're not really trading to make money, although you think you are. Like, that is your surface level intention, but then there is like a deep subconscious reaction that is controlling you within the markets and you're not aware of it. And so basically you're trying to escape either boredom, or you're unsafe, or you feel fidgety and you got nothing to do and you feel like you need to be in the market all the time to make more money, and there's always something that is triggering you into taking emotional trades from an emotional state without you actually being fully aware of it. And this is a negative pattern that repeats itself every single week. For example, you might chase trades. Okay, so you come into the market and price is running in your direction and you can't even wait for the pullback to enter. Does that sound like you? Does that sound familiar? So you jump in and you just take a bad trade. It's not your best entry. Okay, you could have gotten at a better price and got a higher RR return, okay, a higher risk reward ratio, but instead you FOMO'd into the trade and it was like 90 or 80% ready to take the trade, but it hadn't fully aligned. But because your emotions took over you, you jumped in and you got into a bad trade, and then worse off, it reversed on you. Okay, so that's like one emotional state. Another emotional state is basically revenge trade. So then you take a loss and then it really destroys you. Your ego is like hurt and you just don't like the feeling of being at a loss. Okay, maybe you were up Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, boom, you took a loss, and now you're really hurt and you're trying to fix, and if only you could get back to where you were the day before, you would feel all right. And then that becomes another loss, and then it just spirals, and basically you're digging yourself a deeper hole to get out of. And this is all because of being emotional. Okay, revenge trading is an emotional state, and whether you like it or not, you can tell yourself you're never going to do it again. No more of this revenge trade next time. Next week is going to be a new week, and then boom, it happens again. You can't help yourself. It's simply because your nervous system is wired in such a way. Or you size up and you take big trades, okay, because you feel like your progress is too slow. You've been working for so long and you don't see the results fast enough. So now instead of risking 1%, you're there risking 5% a trade, 3% a trade, or some ridiculous amount. It's going to make you make these irrational decisions and double up on your position. And then ultimately you're going to blow your account. And then one thing will lead to another. So that is also an emotional state. It's a negative emotion that is within you, within your nervous system, and you have to tune that out. Or you force your trades, you force setups. Maybe there is no volume that day. The markets are slow. It could even be a bank holiday and you don't even know it. And you just shouldn't be trading on that day because there's no setup. But then there you are looking in lower time frames trying to force a setup. You're trying to force trades just because you think you're hustling. You think, your hustle culture and this is what is going to get you to level up in your trading and get to your goals. It doesn't work like that in trading, okay? Trading is the complete opposite. There is no hustle culture, okay? That is a complete myth, okay? Less is more. And quality over quantity is what matters. So, forcing trades just to feel active, to feel busy because your psychology, your mindset has been wired this way from a young age, from the matrix. Basically, you've been sold this lie by the matrix that you got to work hard, you got to put in the efforts, you got to put in the time, and more is more, which is complete nonsense in trading. And that kind of thinking is deadly. It's lethal within the market environment. And you really have to understand this at a core level. This is a huge issue that I would say 99% of traders deal with daily. Okay, they don't even know that they have this problem. They just think they're being productive. And I bet you that's what you think. And I'm not having a go at you. I'm not downgrading you. I'm not talking down to you. I'm here to help you understand the issue so that you know what to fix. Okay, it's important because you can't fix what you don't know. Okay, and I can tell you this because it took me more than 10 years to figure it out. And this is, I have no one to blame but myself. I'm not a victim. I'm not anything. I'm just saying that, it's such an easy point to miss that if you don't understand these simple points that I'm talking about, you can go off in the wrong direction forever. And a lot of people do. And they either end up quitting or they just never come back. And so you have to be fully aware of this and know about this so that you can recenter, recalibrate, and put yourself into the right direction so that you can get to where you want to go faster. Does that make sense? You see, the majority of traders, they're not really trading the markets. What they're actually trying to do is trade like their frustration. They're taking out frustration. They're mirroring their internal onto the market. And this is a trap. This is where people blow their accounts, just trading out of frustration. You're not actually executing your plan. What you're trying to do is you're trying to fix some kind of random emotion that is being triggered without you knowing it. It's buried inside of your nervous system and it keeps getting triggered and you just explode and you go off onto this tilt and you don't know why. Okay, and it happens every week. And it's not that you're not disciplined, okay? You're just emotionally impulsive. You could wake up at 5 a.m. every day still, okay? You could eat clean. You could go jogging for 10 kilometers every morning. You could do all your work. You could be in the gym for 1 hour a day. And on paper, by most people's standards, that looks like discipline, okay? That looks really good. The thing is, that's not the issue because you can do all of that stuff outside of the market and pretend or act like you're disciplined, which is good, but it's not going to fix the problem. And then when you get to the market, when it's the time, the crucial moment that counts where you got to execute, you crumble. Okay? All that discipline goes out the door. It just like none of it ever happened. And that's because your nervous system and your subconscious has been overridden by these negative programmings, okay? These negative samskaras. This is what we call it. It's a negative trapped energy, okay? And you have to deal with it. You can't brush it under the carpet and try to will yourself through this. Like willpower won't work, okay? Because it's the way you are programmed. It's just your natural, it's your constant default, okay? So you might be able to willpower yourself for maybe a week and go into a winning streak and do everything right and feel like you're on top of the world, and then boom, the next week you come back and you completely sabotage. You self-sabotage. Your body, your mind does not feel safe holding profits. You don't feel good being in the green, and somehow you subconsciously sabotage and give it all back. okay? And this happens all the time. It's like people that win the lottery, okay? I know this is a generic um, example, but it's very true, okay? It's like people that win the lottery, they end up with all this money that they don't know how to hold on to, and then they just spend it and give it all back, and then at the end, after, they're even worse off. They're more in debt and they're more broke, okay? Because their baseline psychology is not wired to keep and make more money, okay? They're just all emotional about the money, and they go on a spending spree, and then they just blow the money. And sadly, a lot of traders are similar. They're not wired for profits. They're not wired for consistency. They're not wired to grow the equity curve, okay, to grow that P&L. They're just not trained for it. As soon as they go into profits, they blow it, okay? And we've all heard this before. It's like people pass their funded accounts. They pass the phase one, they pass phase two, and then as soon as they get the money, the real funded account, they blow it because the emotions change, okay? There is a different reaction to having the real cash, okay? And things change. They just tilt, they spiral, and that's because of the negative emotions, these underlying imprints that is within the psyche, within the person's psychology, okay? And nobody's talking about this enough, okay? And this is an important topic because there is no silver bullet that's going to fix it, okay? You can't even copy your guru with the same trade because your guru knows how to hold the trade, but you don't, okay? You'll take the same trade, but you'll still mess it up. One way or another, you'll find a way to self-sabotage. Like your guru might just take that one perfect trade, and then you take that same trade, and by the grace of God, you won that trade as well, and then greed takes over. You get emotional and you think, you know what, maybe I can do it again without the guru. And then you go and take 2 more trades on your own, and then you blow it up. You see, that's because of the wiring. So you have to understand this. It's very, like, categorically, you need to understand this, okay? It's important that you do. Otherwise, it's always going to be difficult, and it's always going to feel like you're swimming against the current, okay? You need to be in alignment. You have to be in absolute, total 100% alignment with your market structure, with the trend on all your time frames, and also alignment internally, you know, in your internal psychology, your internal emotions. Those have to be in alignment as well. It's the whole thing. You can't have one without the other, okay? And then when you have the full circle, that's when you're good. That's when you start kicking ass. That's when you're ready to go and conquer the whole world. You see, the problem is this version of you that keeps repeating these bad habits, these bad mistakes every week. You hate this version of you. And I believe that there's a better version of you within you, okay? And you hate this version of yourself. You don't understand why. And I'm telling you, I'm not here to teach you strategy and any of that nonsense. That's the easy part. I'm here to explain to you why you're doing what you're doing, what is going on, because I've been you. I've been where you've been. I've like basically lost my fucking plot trying to figure this out, trying to figure out why these triggers happen. What is it? And it's not strategy, it's you, but you hate this version of you, okay? But there is also simultaneously a positive version of you that is in control, fully disciplined, and in full alignment with the strategy and the market and your emotions, okay? And that's what I'm here to do, is to help you activate that version of you, to bring out the real warrior, the real sniper in you. That's what I want to do. You see, you don't want to be this version that keeps messing up every week. It's eating into your confidence, and also it's affecting your testosterone levels. If you keep losing all the time, what do you think that's going to do to your testosterone levels, your esteem, your confidence? It's going to just completely destroy from the inside out, okay? And you don't want to repeat these negative states, okay? It's unhealthy, okay? It's bad for your cortisol levels. It's bad for your stress. If you're always anxious about trading, if you're always hesitating about taking a trade, basically it's like trading is like a ticking time bomb, or like a fire or a hot stove. Like, it's You know, it can cook you a nice meal, but you don't know how to. You're just touching the stove all the time, and you just keep burning yourself every single week, okay? And dude, it's embarrassing, okay? And you have to overcome this. And it's not strategy. It's what's going on inside of your nervous system. If you don't fix it, you're going to have this guilt. You're going to have this shame. You're going to keep overtrading every week, okay? You're going to chase the markets. You're going to make all the rookie mistakes that you know you shouldn't make, and you're going to keep repeating it over and over again. You know that you're capable of more. I know that you're capable of more, okay? I believe in you, okay? I know where you're at, and I know what you need to do to get to where you want to be, okay? I know how to overcome these problems that you're facing, this kind of issue. And there is categorically a better version of you beyond this. This is like your plateau. You're not a beginner anymore, okay? I'm not saying that you're a beginner. You've been doing this for a long time, okay? You know how to trade. You don't need me to tell you how to trade. You know how to trade, but you don't know how to trade. Does that make sense? Without being rude or anything or condescending, but it's time to have the breakthrough, okay? It's time to get through that plateau, okay? All traders will eventually, they rise up, and then they go like this. They consolidate sideways. It's like a consolidation, okay? And hopefully that consolidation is what we call the plateau. But hopefully you break to the upside and moonshot. And when you do that, that's your breakthrough, okay? That's where it all starts to click and it starts to work out, okay? But you could be stuck in your consolidation, your plateau level for years, okay? And some people just consolidate and they break to the downside and they quit, okay? So I'm trying to get you to have the positive breakthrough, okay? But you need to understand what you're missing, okay? And it's not so much as just listening to somebody tell you about it or some AI video talking about psychology. Like, all of that is interesting, but it won't fix the underlying issue, okay? There's work that you have to do, okay? There are demons that you have to clear out. There are weeds. This is the work that you have to do, okay? It's like some people say like, oh, it took me 3 years to figure out trading. Well, you know what it was? Those people that are really successful, you know what it actually was? It was, they took 1 day to learn the strategy and 3 years to fix themselves. Does that make sense? So it's really, the end game is really internal, okay? And you have to work on it. You see, you don't fix your emotions by trading harder and making more trades. You fix your emotions by doing the internal work, doing the shadow work, going internally, doing the inner work, okay? That's the only way. You have to rewire the internal dialogue that your subconscious is running on, okay? This is the, think of it as the computer program that basically runs your entire life. Like, your trading decisions are made before you even show up, okay? Like, you might have a baseline tendency to just FOMO into trades or be impatient, okay? So you can't even execute a 100% win rate strategy without FOMOing in early and messing up the entry, you see? So it's all internal. And basically, you cannot discipline yourself out of a dysregulated nervous system, okay? There's no amount of cold showers or no amount of jogging or lifting weights or eating clean or any amount of discipline is going to fix your nervous system. It's two different things, okay? You need to be disciplined, but then you also have to fix your nervous system and have that operating at 110%. It's not like you can just suddenly place good intentions out of your bad emotions, your bad patterns. Your good intentions and willpower will not work on this, okay? No amount of praying can work, okay? Maybe you've been praying, okay? And I'm not knocking that, because I pray every day. I talk to a higher source of power too, okay? And maybe that your prayers brought you to see this video. You see what I mean? So it brought you to the awareness of now, of being here now. So now you know what you need to do to move forward, okay? But there's work that you got to do, okay? Nothing just clicks. Okay, it needs to be worked on. The funny part is you cannot fix pain with logic. It's just not like that. Okay, you have to have a structured system, a structured routine, and a structured way to basically deal with this negative pattern and completely remove it from your programming. You see, emotional trading is basically driven by the nervous system. It's a nervous system reaction, okay? And you need to understand this. You self-sabotage because your body is addicted to chaos. It's that simple. The problem isn't the market, it's your state of mind. And your state of mind is the thing that controls all of your decisions. So it's quite simple. You can overcome emotional trading by deregulating your nervous system and reprogramming yourself. You can break the emotional patterns by learning how to detach. You break the emotional trading by creating a calm internal environment. And then you can also break the emotional trading by mastering your nervous system. Okay, this is a skill for life. You see, when your internal world becomes stable and strong, that's when your external world has no option left but to reflect what is happening internally. Okay, it's sort of like the 4D into the 3D. It's not the other way around. Your internal state is the cause of the effect that you're trying to get in your life. Okay, and the effect is what you see in front of you, the 3D world. So you have to fix the 4D, which is the internal state. So if you can resonate with this, then it's because you know that you cannot go on like this. Okay, you cannot continue to trade the way you've been trading. You got to really do the deep work. You have to go deep and dig into your nervous system and do the programming work. Okay, you're tired of blowing all of your accounts. You're tired of going forward one step and then going back 3 steps every single week. Okay, you're tired of not having anything to show for the people around you. Okay, the people that doubt you, all your haters, you need to show them what's up, but you can't because you're stuck on yourself. You're tired of feeling out of control. And for sure, you're tired of living in chaos all the time. And you want consistency. You want the real consistency. This is what every single trader is trying to achieve. Consistency. Not the type of fake discipline that you keep promising yourself every week. So this is what we do inside my course, the Inner Edge Pro. We rebuild you from the inside out. We reprogram your internal programming for traders, okay, for trading. We help you overcome all of your trading issues, your FOMO, your revenge trading, your fear, your greed. We fix all of that, okay, every single week. And basically, we work on upgrading your internal self. This program that I've created basically goes in and clears the problem at a root level, not a surface level, not some kind of surface level solution. This is the root level fix, okay? So we clear out the internal garbage, the self-sabotage, everything that's holding you back. That's what we do within the course, the Inner Edge Pro. So that's the first link in the description if you want to work on yourself. If you're new to my channel, then go ahead, like and subscribe. Welcome. And drop your comments below. Let me know where you're at with your trading, if there's anything I can do to help you move forward. Until the next video, you're on your own. Take care now. Goodbye.